We spend so much of our lives chasing something: a better job, a bigger house, a deeper love, a future we imagine will finally make us complete. And yet, no matter how far we go, it never seems to be enough. There's always something missing. A voice inside whispering, just a little more. But what if happiness isn't about adding more? What if it's about seeing the beauty in what's already here? The quiet mornings, the laughter that passes like sunlight, the moments we usually overlook. Let me tell you a story, a simple one, about an old man, a young traveler, and the kind of happiness that doesn't need anything extra. In a peaceful valley surrounded by green hills, there lived an old man named Yao. He had no riches, no servants, and no grand home. Only a small wooden cottage near the river, a few chickens, and a little garden that he tended every morning. At sunrise, Yao would fetch water, feed the chickens, and sit by his door with a cup of tea. He loved watching the mist lift slowly from the hills, revealing the golden light of a new day. Sometimes he smiled, not because anything special happened, but simply because he was alive to see it. The villagers often wondered about him. "How can he live like that?" they whispered. "He owns almost nothing, yet he seems happier than all of us." When they asked him, Yao would simply smile and say, "The sun still rises, the river still flows, that's enough." One day, a young merchant from the city arrived in the village. His name was Lai. Wealthy, ambitious, and restless. He wore fine clothes and carried a pouch full of silver coins, yet his eyes looked tired. When he passed Yao's house, he noticed the old man's calm expression and stopped. "Old man," Li said, "I've traveled far, worked hard, and earned everything I dreamed of, yet peace keeps escaping me. You have so little, but you look so content. What's your secret?" Yao smiled. "My secret? I have none. I just live." Li frowned. "That can't be all. Surely there's more to it than that." Yao poured him a cup of tea, plain and unsweetened. Li took a sip and grimaced. "It's bitter. In the city we add sugar, milk, and spices to make it better." The old man nodded slowly. "Yes, and that's why you no longer taste the tea." Li looked confused. "What do you mean?" "The more you add," Yao said gently, "the less you notice what's already there. It's the same with life. When you keep adding more and more, you forget the quiet joy of simply being." Li fell silent. Something in the old man's words lingered inside him. That night, a great storm swept through the valley. The wind roared, trees bent, and rain pounded against the earth. When morning came, the river had flooded part of the village. Houses were damaged, even Yao's small cottage. Li ran to help. He found the old man sweeping mud from his doorstep, humming softly to himself. "Your house is ruined," Li cried. "Your garden, your chickens, all gone. How can you still smile?" Yao looked up, eyes calm. The storm took what it wanted. "But look, the sun is back and the air smells clean. I am still here, and that's enough." Li stood speechless. He realized that Yao didn't ignore loss, he accepted it. Peace, Li understood, was not the absence of pain, but the presence of gratitude. Before Lai left the village, he offered the old man a pouch of silver. "Please," he said, "take this. You've helped me more than you know." Yao shook his head. "I have all I need," Li insisted. "At least keep it for safety." The old man took one coin, then handed the pouch back. He said, "One coin is enough. It's not the amount that matters, it's knowing what's enough for you." Li stood still, holding the pouch. For the first time in years, he didn't know what to say. He realized that the weight he carried wasn't from work or travel. It was from always wanting more. Many years passed. The old man eventually grew too frail to tend his garden. One morning, as the river glistened in the sun, Yao closed his eyes for the last time. His lips curved in a peaceful smile. News spread across the valley. When Li, now an older man himself, heard of it, he traveled back to the village. He found the old cottage still standing, the garden wild with new life. On the small wooden table, covered in dust, lay a single cup, and beside it, a folded piece of paper. Li opened it. Inside, in the old man's careful handwriting, were just 4 words: "This moment is enough." Lee sat there for a long time, watching the sunlight dance on the river. He finally understood. All his life, he had chased the horizon, but happiness had never been something to reach. It had always been something to return to. We all live like Lee at some point, believing happiness lies just beyond the next achievement, the next purchase, the next dream. But the truth is simpler, quieter. Happiness isn't a destination, it's a state of gratitude. It's in waking up to a new morning, in a warm cup of tea, in a familiar song, in the feeling of the wind on your face. When we stop running, when we stop adding layers to every moment, we start to taste life again as it really is. Because peace doesn't come when life is perfect. It comes when we finally whisper to ourselves, what I have is enough, who I am is enough, and this moment, right here, right now, is enough. Thank you for listening to this story. If it touched your heart, share it with someone who may need a gentle reminder that happiness isn't found in more, but in gratitude for what already is. I'm Cece, and I'll see you again in the next Whisper of Whispered World, where stories breathe softly and hearts find their calm.